Have you ever wondered how something like this is made? Well, wonder no longer, friends and fellow students. I'm Bluetooth, back from the lab, where I have created a monster for both your edification and enjoyment. This is Tyrantrum, though I need to strip it down to just its bare bones, pun intended, and be left with a fully functional model for when I remake the Eyewitness theme and also the Move remake Head Smash. Now, the simplest method to make a skeleton look like a T-Rex's is, of course, to use a T-Rex skeleton, and I'll start by creating it from scratch. First thing to do is create the vertebrae, which will eventually have a more refined shape, but for now it's just going to remain looking like a circle with a claw fossil sticking out of the top of it, at least while I adjust the rib cage. Speaking of ribs, I'll need to cut out the general shape and fiddle with them until I feel they're thick enough to support our big boy's brawn. But since he's no need of brain nor brawn, how about we just make it more bony? After refining the shape of the vertebrae, I can line them up against the original to start getting the proper scale of the bones, using a curve to string them along. Also adding the not quite ribs on the rest of the spine that isn't ribs, along with this thingy on the end, which according to the internet is apparently called the spinous process. And with that, we can move on to the head, which is actually pretty simple. I just copied the original, chopped it off, and then smoothed it out and added some holes. After that, I just clean it up to look a bit smoother, and with those done, it's time to move on to the shoulders and arms. Now, for the shoulders and other surrounding bits, I'll use the same trick as I did for the ribs, just by cutting the shape out for its furcula, coracoid, and scapula, which are fancy names for shoulder bones. Now for all these little bones that make up the arms and hands, which look like a ball on a stick. So all we need to do is make a ball and put it on a stick. Then we do that a bunch of times, copy it a whole bunch of other times, and then move them into the places they should be, not forgetting to copy over other details like the claws and the tail spikes. Then we're just going to repeat what we did for the shoulders, for whatever these hip bones are called, adding more stick and ball bones, though these thighs will have to be thicker than the other bones to support our dino's weight, meaning we can add more detail to them and make them look a little more scruffed up. With that and the copied toe claws, it's time for the final touch-up montage and onto the renders. If you would like to personally check out the file for Tyrantrum's skeletal model, the file is available for download to all of my patrons and channel members, along with many other projects that I've worked on. And speaking of supporters, a very large thank you to my newest supporters, Chris and a floofy vixen. Well then, farewell.